Hello, everyone. Happy Monday to you all. Hope you had a great weekend. Mine wasn't so bad. I cooked up a storm, made some good Jamaican dishes for me and my husband because, of course, my son is never home. When they get over a certain age, they never want to be home, which is fine. I'm Sandra. I'm the admin for I Do in the Caribbean Facebook group. I also specialize in planning destination weddings in the Caribbean and Mexico. And I'm also a travel agent. So if you're in this group and you need help with planning your destination wedding, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to assist you with that. So today's topic is Destination Wedding Webpage. Do you need one? And my answer to that is definitely you should have a web page. I provide one for any client that I'm working with, so they'll have a place that all their guests can come to get all the information they need for their destination wedding. I know there's a lot of other places that offer a web page like the Knot. So it doesn't matter where you get it from, but I think you should have one because there's a lot of information that you're going to need to share with your guests that are coming to the wedding. The fact that your wedding is going to be in a foreign location and you just want to make sure people are prepared, like, knowing what to wear, where it is, making sure they find the right resort. Because there's like, if you're getting married in Mexico at a Dreams Resort, there's like 4 or 5 Dreams Resort in Mexico. So making sure that you tell them specifically which resort you're getting married and the date is very important. So having a web page that people can go to find information, to me, is very essential for if you're having a destination wedding. So one of the top things I think that should be on your wedding website is, of course, your venue. Most likely when you see the website, you're going to say Sandra and Howard is getting married and the date that you're getting married. So that's normally the top of the web page. But the next thing you're going to have is a venue. Where are they going to get married? They're going to get married in Dreams Riviera Cancun in Mexico. So that, narrows it down to this is resort they're going to get married. Also, you're going to put your timeline for the wedding, the date the date of the wedding, so people know what date it is. So when they're booking their reservation, they know that if the wedding is on the 5th, they need to get to the resort at least by the 4th to be able to attend the wedding. So you're going to have what time your ceremony is going to be, where it's going to be located. So, most time you will know where your ceremony is going to be located. If it's at a beach, what section of the beach is going to be. Normally there is a section or there's a name for, the location of where your wedding events are going to be. So you want to make sure those are on your website. So people coming to the resort will know, are you going to have a beach wedding? Is it going to be indoors, outdoors, so they can either dress appropriately? You also want to let people know what type of wedding. Is there a dress code for your wedding? Is it going to be an all-white affair? Is it going to be casual? Is it going to be formal? So they're most likely going to have your wedding in the Caribbean. So you want people to dress appropriately for the wedding. Do you get dressed up if you're going to have a beach wedding and you can come casual and sandals are required or not required? So you want to make sure you give people an idea of the type of wedding you're having and what your expectation is, that this is what I would like them to wear to my wedding. Not that you can dictate it, but you're giving them a heads up. This is the type of wedding I'm having. This is my dress code for my wedding. So that is very important. Also, if you're having any type of events, the itinerary when they get to the resort is good to have on the website so people know. The first day, you're going to have a welcome reception. It's at 7 o'clock where the location is going to be. On this day, you're going to have a tour, a catamaran cruise. Just let people know what to expect and, allow them to, say if they want to attend or not. So that is very key. Just making sure that people know when the wedding is, where it's located, and if you have any extra activities that you would like them to participate in so they can, be aware, dress appropriately, plan accordingly. So that's one of the things I think you should have on your website. The next thing I think you should have is accommodations, like where do you want people to stay, whether at the hotel that's hosting the event, where they want to stay. Do you have a room block? And if so, how do they book the room? So you need to have all that information on the website. When I do the website, I have a dedicated link that the guests can go to book their rooms themselves. So they really don't have to even ask the couple anything. Once they get on the website, what I try to put on there is the room block, when the dates are for, the rooms that are available, the pricing for the rooms, if there's insurance available, all that stuff is laid out on the website. So the guests can easily decide and easily know what the price is, and they can book their rooms directly without going to the couple constantly to ask them questions. Also, I leave my name and contact information on the website because you want a point of contact. If the guests have questions, they should know who to go to. Is it going to be the couple, or the couple has assigned someone that you're the point person for this? And those are where all your questions will go through. So, you want to really be clear on your website as to, do you contact the couple for everything, or do you have a point person like a travel specialist that will handle all those inquiries that the guests are going to have about the location, transportation, how do they get to the resort, if they want to book flights. So, there's a lot of questions that people have when you're going to a destination that they're not sure of, just understanding what the requirements are. The other thing I think should be on your webpage, if you have one, is whatever the travel requirements are for entering that country. For instance, if it's Jamaica, you need a COVID test 3 days before you fly out, and also you need a COVID test, a negative COVID test, 3 days before you return back to the US. So any type of travel requirements, I think it's a good place to have that on your website, so guests are aware what they need to do in order to prepare for their trip. The other thing is, for Jamaica, you need a travel authorization form that needs to be filled out at least 7 days before your trip. So there's a lot of stuff that the guests need to be aware of, so they're not left at the airport when they get there and not having the right documentations or form filled out in order to travel. Traveling today is not the same as traveling 2 years from now. There's a lot of requirements that the guests need to make sure they meet these requirements, otherwise they won't be able to fly or attend your wedding. So you don't want that to happen. So to me, having that information on your website is definitely key. Just knowing what requirements to go to the resort is, and also just understand what travel requirements are, what our COVID requirements are. You need, when you go to the airport, you have to wear your mask at the airport, on the plane. When you deboard, you have to wear your mask. And also when you get to the resort, does the resort have any specific requirements for social distancing and wearing masks? Most resorts allow you to not wear masks freely, but if you're in a closed environment, they want you to put your mask on because you're in a closed quarter. So you have to check what the resort travel requirements are, what you need to do so you can prepare. Also, for the COVID test, the fact that you need a COVID test to return back to the US, just understanding, is the resort going to provide you a COVID test when you get there, or is it going to be on site, or do you have to go off site to get it? So there's a lot of information that you really have to make sure your guests know and are prepared when they're coming to your wedding. The other thing is gift registry. Most times destination weddings kind of don't have a gift registry because just the presence of your guests coming to your destination wedding is gift enough, because they're paying for their own accommodation and flight to come to your wedding in a foreign location. But there's some guests that are generous and they want to give a gift. Most times people will have like a honeymoon fund, because most times couples are together already. They already have their house. They have all the household things that they need. So they could create a honeymoon fund. So you can actually have that on your website if you want, in lieu of a gift, or if you want to give a gift to our wedding, you can contribute to our honeymoon fund. You could have that on there, a link to your Cash App or Zelle or whatever it is that you want to use to collect the funds that your guests would like to give. Also, I would say if you have a resort and the resort is adult only or family friendly, you could say that also on your website, and just let people know if kids are allowed to come to the wedding. I mean, that would be an invitation, but sometimes you have to either stress it out, because people will just do what they want to do and not understand that you're paying per head and you need to keep a record of who's coming, and you have a guest list. They have to abide by, if you invite Mary, is it okay for Mary to bring a +1? So these things you really have to be careful of, to make sure that these are spelled out, whether within your invitation or on your website, that it's by invitation only, or you just have to say certain things there to make sure that guests realize that you just can't bring anyone you want to the wedding. It has to be like cleared to the couple to make sure that it's okay with the couple for you to bring someone to the wedding. if you're going to do tours and attractions, like if there are certain tours that you want to do as a group, whether a caravan cruise, whether a horseback riding, anything you want to do, you can also put that on the website. For me, what I've done and what I will do, I guess, is put a link to different tours that guests can actually book tours on their own if they want to. So, your website should almost be a one-stop shop that once your guests get their invitation and they go to the website, they should be able to find everything they need and all information they need so they can book to come to your wedding and also understand what the requirements are that, involve in coming to your wedding. So I'm just going to briefly, those are things I think you should have. Those are the main things I think you should have on your wedding webpage, whether it's you create one, it's through the Knot or to some other supplier. But I think definitely you should have one because, as I said before, you want to make sure that all your guests know where your wedding is, what date it is, how to get there, where to get the information, how to book their rooms. So those are key things that should be on your website. So I'm just gonna share with you a website, a web page, because it's one page that I often give to all the couples that I work with. So if you look at this, first I have nice cute pictures of the couple, and this is actually a vow renewal. So this couple is celebrating their 20 years of marriage on August 14, 2021. And I've always asked the couples to give me some pictures of themselves, or if they have a love story you want to share with your guests. So the couple gave me pictures of when they first got married and when they were dating to now. So we had a little collage of pictures for them, and normally put a beautiful pictures of an outdoor wedding. So they're getting married on the beach, and the day off, just like where things are going to be. This couple is going to get married in Jamaica, and they want an all white sunset vow renewal. So already you're knowing that this couple is going to get married outside. The ceremony is on the 14th at 5 p.m. So it's sunset. It's at the garden, the beach gazebo, and it's at Royalton Blue Water. So for here, it's going to be the beach gazebo at 5 o'clock is a ceremony, and the cocktail is going to be at the pavilion, also at Blue Waters. And then the reception is going to be at the beach also. So they're going to do beach ceremony, cocktail someplace else, and then back to the beach for their reception. So the accommodations I have here, I have Royalton Blue Waters in Montego Bay. So nice pictures of the resort. Also include multiple, a little information about Jamaica, about the resort, pictures of the resort, so guests can have an understanding of what the resort looked like, what some of the rooms look like. I put a countdown clock to let people know this is 116 days before the wedding. So, they know that I better book now because I might miss out if I don't book now. And then this is where I would put my information here. So I am the one in charge of, if they have any, if I'm the main contact person with regards to booking the rooms for the wedding, and I put the dates that the wedding's available, my email address, my telephone number, and a link right here to reserve your room. So they can go right on the webpage and reserve their room for the wedding. Also try to include the room categories that's available. Telling them what the price per room is, when the final payment date is due, because that's very important. And if they're booking a room, that's a Diamond Club room, just like what's included in the room. Round trip transportation is $44 per person. If they want travel insurance, there it is, the cost. So I'm trying to make sure everything that the guests need to book their rooms and make sure that they can show up for the wedding on time is on the website. The other thing I include here is travel requirements for traveling to Jamaica. So you need a travel authorization form within 7 days of trip. So you have to go on the link to the website here to fill out that travel authorization form that's needed to travel to Jamaica. You also need a negative COVID test within 72 hours of your flight. So 3 days before your flight, you have to go and get a test, a COVID-19 test, and it has to be negative before you can actually come to the airport. And I always tell guests, please print out your COVID test. Please print out your travel authorization form, because once you fill out the travel authorization form for Jamaica, they're going to send you an approval form. You need that email. So you need a negative test and the email at the airport. So when they check you in, you'll have that information there. When you get to the airport, as I said, mask is required at the airport, on the plane, and when you deboard the plane, and they're going to do some kind of health check once you get off the plane. When they get to on here, requirements for returning back to the US. So there's requirements for coming back to the US. So a negative COVID test is required to be taken 72 hours or 3 days before you return to the US. So if you're going away and you're going away for 4 days, make sure that once you get on resort, that is the next day, you should have scheduled your COVID test. So you have your COVID test scheduled and done. So you have the results in time so you can make it back on your flight. So that's very important. And I would say the most important thing I learned is that you need to get to the airport. If they say 3 hours before, you need to get there 3 hours before, because of them checking the COVID test, they need time to do that, and that's a manual process. So you can't, you used to be able to check into your flight before you get to the airport. So at least you're checked in. You can't check into your flight till they confirm that you have a negative COVID test. So that is something that you really need to be aware of. So those are the things that would be on the website that I built for my clients. And if I need any more information, like this particular client doesn't have like a honeymoon fund or a RSVP because they've done their invitation through e-invite. And what I really tell my clients, if you're going to use e-invite, just put me as an admin, so at least I know who you've invited to the wedding, so I can look out for these emails and phone calls from the guests. So then I'll know who to expect calls from, so I can know, and also give the couple an update, like who's booked, who hasn't booked, just to keep them updated on their wedding. So, this is a website that, I would say is very useful for the guests, for them to know where the wedding is, how to book their weddings, any particular travel, requirements they need to know, who to contact to get information for. And, this is what I would say would be definitely a good thing for you to have if you're having a destination wedding. So that's all I have for you today. Next week, I'll be coming to you live, but it will not be at 3:00 because I will be in the beautiful Punta Cana in DR for a week. So I will be coming to you live from various locations, throughout DR. So I'll be at several resort and just giving resort tours and just letting like because I'll be seeing the Now Resort, Breathless Cancun. I'll be staying at Zoraltree. So I'll do a room tour as well as a resort tour at each resort that I'm going to be staying at. Also pointing out what their wedding location look like, so you can have a first-hand look as if I'm thinking of getting married in DR at this particular hotel, what locations are available, and just for you to see it, to see if this is something that you want. So I'll be out from Saturday of this week to Friday. I'll be in DR. So I'll be coming to you live from various locations there and just talking about all things destination wedding. As I said before, if there's anyone in the group that needs any help in planning their destination wedding, please feel free to reach out to me. And I'll be more happy to help you. Until then, have a great day, and I will see you I think on Wednesday. We're doing frequently asked questions on Wednesday. So you'll see me again on Wednesday. So stay tuned, have a good day, and see you then.